Now, change happens with an organization for a number of reasons. Sometimes your business model shifts. Maybe there's a merger and acquisition, a reorg. Maybe you downsize or a new initiative takes priority, such as safety or wellness. But change management around sustainability, that's what our focus of this module is going to be about. Before you can do change, you have to understand how your organization manages change. Now, there's 4 methods of successful change management that happen around sustainability, and each one of them needs to be mapped to your company culture. For instance, you might have a very collaborative company culture where everyone works together and people, work well in brainstorming sessions, and they develop ways to provide feedback and systems. And if you're trying to do sustainability, you want to make sure you do it in a way where you facilitate brainstorming, where you have a system where employees can give suggestions and feedback and develop online, internal platforms where people can share ideas. If you have a control-oriented culture, much more of a top-down, very traditional way of doing business where, thou shalt do what thy bosses say, passed down from upper management. If you have a control-oriented company culture, you got to understand, okay, how are we going to make change around sustainability? So that type of culture really responds to where are the risks and regulations that we need to follow, and can we audit and assess where our processes are and where the environmental impacts are, and reviewing policies and procedures. And you're going to have to do it through top-down oriented ways to be effective. Now, a create-oriented change management method is much more where people are jamming on ideas. It's much more of a grassroots effort where people come up with ideas and they feel like they're empowered entrepreneurs, and they have to be about creating a training program to get ideas going and create a culture of creative thinking, and you're just going to generate ideas. And when the ideas come, and whichever ones make sense from a business perspective or from a social environmental perspective, that's going to catch on, and change management is going to happen very much organically from a bottom-up grassroots perspective. And lastly, there's the competitive model. Now, we've all been in competitive situations in our life, but some organizations actually are competitive within themselves. You've heard about some big businesses where, one division within a company competes against another. You've probably been in, any of you who've been in government or within a larger institution, know that there's silos, and they all tend to fight against each other, but they also can compete against each other. And if you have a competitive nature within your company culture, then if you're trying to do change management around sustainability, you need to embrace that. You need to find ways where you can not only establish goals and objectives and things that people can do, but how can you benchmark performance and then get people to compete against one another? How can you start setting things up so that one organization or one department or one facility is competing against another, and they're all trying to come up with cool product ideas, or maybe they're finding ways that they can lead towards energy efficiency, water conservation, increased recycling, less waste, whatever it is, carpool challenges. You find that if your company culture is around competitiveness and there's a competitive spirit there, then you want to embrace it. You want to make sure whatever change management initiatives you're doing around sustainability embraces that competitive nature. So all 4 of these are different ways that change management around sustainability can be done, but you really need to match them with your company culture.